If you have found your way to this video, please know it's not by accident. Something deep within you, a quiet and knowing part of your heart, has guided you here. It knows that the person you have been is no longer big enough to hold the person you are becoming. This isn't a thought from your mind. It is a whisper from your soul. It's a call from your quantum field, gently guiding you toward the most beautiful version of your life, your highest timeline. Right now, in this very moment, there is an invisible energy field all around you. Think of it like a gentle current in a river. For years, this current has kept you flowing in the same familiar circles, thinking the same thoughts, feeling the same emotions, and living as the version of yourself you know so well. But what many people don't yet understand about the universe and our own consciousness is that this field isn't just a feeling or an idea. It is literally woven into the fabric of your reality, down to the tiniest particles of existence. Have you ever felt that? The harder you push to create change, the more you feel stuck in the exact same place. Have you ever looked at others who seem to reinvent their lives overnight and wondered, why is it so hard for me? While you've been wrestling with the same challenges, the same relationships, or the same financial worries for years. The answer is held in a beautiful concept that quantum physicists call observer collapse, but which ancient spiritual teachers knew as the gentle dissolving of the false self. And here is where the true magic begins. There is a specific, measurable moment when your awareness literally shifts into a new dimension. In this moment, the old you, with all its hurts and limitations, begins to fade away at a quantum level. As it dissolves, the universe itself lovingly begins to rearrange around the new you that is being born. Most of us never reach this beautiful shift because we are taught to do the exact opposite of what quantum mechanics shows us is true. We try to add new habits onto the old self. We try to paint a new color on a wall that needs to be rebuilt. We try to install new software on a computer running an old, outdated operating system. It simply doesn't work. The mystics of Tibet shared a beautiful saying, "You cannot pour new wine into old wineskins." Today, modern neuroscience confirms this ancient wisdom. The work of Dr. Joe Dispenza shows that when we truly and completely let go of our old identity, our brain physically rewires itself in that very moment. The neural pathways that held us in loops of anxiety and limitation start to dissolve, and new pathways form, aligning us with our most incredible potential. But this is the secret that self-help books often miss. This quantum shift doesn't happen bit by bit. It doesn't happen because you force it with willpower or by repeating affirmations. It happens in a single sacred moment of complete surrender. It is a moment that physicists call quantum decoherence, where the old version of you simply ceases to exist as a dominant probability in the quantum field. Are you one of the beautiful souls who is ready to feel this? Because what I am about to share with you will gently challenge everything you thought you knew about who you are and what is possible. You are about to see why letting go isn't just a spiritual idea. It is a quantum doorway to higher and more beautiful ways of living. The question is, are you ready to stop trying to fix the old you and instead allow the real you to emerge from the field of infinite possibility that is your birthright? If these words are already stirring something within you, know that you are not alone. Share this transmission now with anyone you feel may be ready to receive it. Sharing this video sends a ripple of light out into the quantum field, a beacon that not only helps awaken others, but also magnetizes your own soul family and like-minded beings to you. As a first step in this conscious choice, take a moment to press the like button below. Think of it not just as a click, but as an energetic agreement. By liking this video, you are anchoring the frequency of possibility into your own quantum field, signaling to the universe that you are ready to receive more of this truth. We have to go deep into the heart of consciousness to understand why letting go is the only real way to change in this way. You are doing a great thing every time you open your eyes in the morning. As you become more aware, you pick one reality to experience from a universe of infinite possibilities. At a level deeper than thought, you decide what kind of you will be here today. But here's what's going on below the surface. You're not just staying the same when you choose to be the same person you were yesterday. For example, when you react with the same old frustrations, make decisions based on the same old fears, or believe the same limiting stories, you are changing. What you are doing is what quantum physicists call a probability wave collapse. You are basically telling everything, this one. This time frame is the one I choose again, which locks you even more into that reality. Think about it like this. There are all the possible outcomes of your life already present in the quantum field. The happy, wealthy, healthy, and purpose-filled version of yourself is real, and you are in what scientists call a superposition state right now. But so does the part of you that is stuck, scared, and learning the same hard lessons over and over again. One of those possibilities comes to life while the others fade into the background. What makes a difference is where you put your consciousness and what you identify with. This is a beautiful place where science and religion meet. The old Vedic texts talked about Maya, which is the false belief that we are a separate, limited self. Anatta is the truth that there is no fixed, permanent identity. It is talked about in Buddhist teachings. What these wise traditions knew deep down thousands of years ago is now being shown in labs by quantum mechanics. You're not really the person you think you are. It is a group of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors that have been repeated so frequently that they have created what neuroscientists refer to as neural superhighways in the brain. These feel like well-worn paths in the woods that you don't even notice you're walking on. They're like you. But here is the truth that will free you. You have to keep putting your valuable energy into these neural superhighways, these patterns that feel so real and unchangeable. They have power over you only because you keep giving them your attention, your faith, and who you are. When you stop identifying with them, something miraculous starts to happen right away. Things are starting to fall apart in the wave function that was holding that old reality together. The old you starts to fall apart, but it's not a painful death. Instead, it's a beautiful, freeing release. This is the reason why all great spiritual paths talk about dying and coming back to life. This is why every great story has a moment when the hero gives up everything and goes into the unknown. Quantum mechanics is being used here, not just a metaphor. For the new self to come forth from the field of infinite potential, the old self has to be let go. But this is where a lot of us get stuck. We fear that when we let go, we'll lose a part of ourselves. It makes us feel like we're giving up something when we think about it. Would you believe me if I told you that the you you're afraid of losing is the smallest, most limited version of who you really are? You're not giving up your true self. You're just freeing yourself from the cage that it was locked up in. You are not giving up your power. You are letting go of the false beliefs that were holding it back. Giving up a false mask that has been blocking your real light from shining through is not the same thing as giving up your identity. And this is just the start. If this truth strikes a chord deep inside you, write in the comments, "I am releasing the mask to reveal my light." This statement should be a choice you make, telling your own quantum field that you are no longer going to hide. As you type these words, they become a part of your new identity and help you remember that your true self is not something you have to make. You just have to let it happen. I want you to stop for a moment. Take a slow, deep breath. As you read these words, feel the energy moving through you. Do you feel it? Something is changing slowly that wasn't there a few minutes ago. That's not something you made up. That's your quantum field starting to adjust to a new truth. Scientists use the term quantum entanglement with a higher possibility to describe how you feel right now. The information you hear isn't just going through your mind, it's also waking up potential that has been dormant in your DNA. It wakes up memories in your cells of who you are beyond the stories and limits you have accepted as true. Feel that soft feeling of your chest getting bigger, that quiet letting go of a knot you've had for a long time. That's the start of not making sense. On your energy field, the old patterns are beginning to slip away. Your nervous system is starting to tune itself to a higher frequency. This is the frequency of the real you, the one that goes beyond what other people have told you about yourself. This is a holy moment. Seeing it, feeling hopeful, and slowly opening up to something more. In the past, this was known as crossing the threshold. It's called neuroplasticity activation in modern neuroscience. But what it really is your soul remembering who it is. Don't use your mind to try to figure it out. Just let it soak into you. Allow it to enter your heart. Let your quantum field take it in. Because what's going on now is getting you ready for what's coming next. The more profound truths that will show you how to use this lovely energy of change to your advantage, rather than against it. Dr. Amit Goswami has spent his whole life studying what he calls quantum consciousness. He is a quantum physicist and a researcher of consciousness. He found something amazing. His research shows that when we let go of old, limiting patterns, our brain waves align with what he calls the quantum self. This part of our consciousness is on a higher level and exists outside of time and space. We already knew this, though. The Tibetan Book of the Dead, which was written more than 1,000 years ago, is amazingly accurate about the different stages of consciousness that people go through in the bardo, which is the time between death and rebirth. What is amazing is that what neuroscientists see in brain scans of people in deep meditation matches exactly what they said about the ego dissolving and identities changing in ancient times. A Harvard neurosurgeon named Dr. Ibn Alexander had a profound near-death experience. He talked about his journey to what he called the core, a realm of pure consciousness where his individual identity disappeared into an ocean of awareness. There was a state of being in which letting go of his small self led to an expansion into something infinitely vast and loving. His scientific mind couldn't explain it. Rumi, an old Sufi mystic, wrote, "You were born with wings. Why would you want to crawl through life?" As quantum consciousness shows us now, what he knew is true. Our limited identity is not who we are. It's just what we've been taught to think about ourselves. For Hindus, the idea of moksha means breaking free from the cycle of suffering. But getting moksha is not the same as getting something new. It comes from letting go of the illusion of separation, which is the false idea that we are separate, limited beings. Physicists today, like Carlo Rovelli, are discovering that at the quantum level, there is no such thing as separation. Everything is deeply connected to each other. There is one field of consciousness that shows itself in a million different beautiful ways. As Dogen, a Zen master, said, Enlightenment is just dropping off body and mind, not getting rid of them, but letting go of how much we depend on them as the story of who we are. New research reveals that when we really let go, the part of the brain that controls self-referential thoughts, the default mode network, shuts down, while the parts that control unity and connection light up. But here is the most important thing that all of these traditions and scientists have noticed. Letting go doesn't happen all at once. It goes through clear, foreseeable stages. It has a rhythm and a wisdom that is easy to understand and move through. If you feel calm knowing that your path is not random but planned, say in the comments, "I trust the sacred process of my becoming." It takes faith to write this. That's your message to the universe that you're ready to stop fighting the flow and let the loving intelligence that is leading your change carry you, even if your mind can't see where it's going. I was in my living room at 2 a.m. 3 years ago, surrounded by everything I had worked so hard to build. My life seemed perfect on the outside. I had a good job, a long-term relationship, and no problems. In reality, though, my soul was crying. I had been feeling a dull but constant ache for months. It was like I knew that the life I was living was no longer fitting with the person I was becoming. Each time I considered changing something, my mind would scream with fear. What will persons say? Everything is going to be lost. You're wasting your prospects. I saw something that night while looking at a picture of myself on the wall that broke my world. I wasn't afraid of my own fears. Those things belonged to the old me. They were the fears of the person who needed approval from other people to feel good about themselves. That person who thought that being in charge of everything made them safe. That person who got his name mixed up with his job title and relationship status. Something changed in that moment of complete emotional breakdown. I gave up trying to figure it out. I stopped trying to control how I felt. No longer did I try to be strong. It was the first time I just let go. With all of my heart, I gave in to the scary and beautiful unknown. From then on, the weeks and months that followed were like magic. There were chances that came my way that I could never have planned for. There were people in my life who saw and supported the real me. There were times when resources showed up out of the blue. But the most important change was inside me. Life began to happen to me at a whole new frequency. There was now joyful curiosity where there was once worry. I no longer felt trapped where I used to. Instead of feeling alone, I felt deeply connected to a loving intelligence that was guiding my every move. I finally got what the mystics meant when they talked about death and rebirth. I now understood why giving up is the key to freedom. It took time for the old me to become the new me. The old me went away, and the real me came out of a totally different part of my mind. Someone else has a story like this. This is the story of everyone who has ever changed in a real way. Yes, you are the story that wants to be born in you because you are here. The path isn't about changing who you are. Under all the fear and conditioning, it's about remembering who you have always been. And that remembering starts with letting go all the time. If you felt like something in my story connected with you, please subscribe to this channel. Here, we can look into these deep reflections of consciousness together. This is the place where seekers become finders and your true nature is shown. If my story has made you realize that you are ready, please say so in the comments. I am ready to let go. Here's more than just a comment, a strong statement of what you want to say. You are letting your soul let go of the heavy weights of the past and bravely step into the beautiful unknown that is waiting for you right now. When do you think this quantum shift will begin to happen for you? Signs and coincidences are ways that the universe talks to us in soft tones. I think most of us miss them, though, because we're too busy looking for earthquakes. The first sign is what I call the beautiful ache of becoming. Things that used to make you happy start to make you feel very upset. Even if your job is fine, your soul isn't happy. The people you're with may make you feel good, but they don't help you grow. It seems like nothing has changed in your daily life, but it does. This isn't depression. It's your soul telling you it's time to grow. Is this really what I want? You start to question everything. Is this really who I am? These aren't signs of rebellion. They're signs that people are waking up. What you might call winks from the universe are another strong sign. You start to see groups of numbers that keep coming up, like 1111 or 444. When you think of an old friend, that friend will text you right away. You'll have dreams that seem more real and deep than real life. These are not just random events. This is the universe telling you that your consciousness is shifting to a higher frequency, which makes the space between worlds thinner. Pay close attention to the sacred compass in your body. When you start to move, your body becomes a very good guide. It will either feel open and light to be with certain people or in certain places, or heavy and draining. The old you might have ignored these feelings, but the new you knows that they are coming from your inner guidance system. Also, you might notice that painful old patterns are getting louder right before they go away. Some people call this the last purge. Worry, anger, or self-doubt may feel stronger than ever in your old habits. This doesn't mean you are going backwards. This means that these patterns are coming to the surface of your mind from the depths of your unconscious, ready to be let go for good. Soul family coming into your life is another beautiful sign. Suddenly, people will show up in your life who are a reflection of your best self. There will be a book that falls off the shelf. Someone will talk that will give you the exact answer you need. The universe starts to put together a support system for the new you. A deep experience called the sacred void, or the dark night of the soul, is the most powerful sign that you are in the middle of the quantum shift. Your career, your beliefs, and your roles used to be what made you who you were. But now they all feel empty and pointless. There has been progress, not a breakdown. It's your mind breaking down the old fence to make room for something much more beautiful and true. It's the caterpillar breaking down inside the cocoon. It is the holiest and most important part of your change. There's something else, though. At one point, most people get scared and turn around. Once you cross a certain point, your transformation can't be undone. You will have to make a choice at that point that will determine whether you finish this beautiful shift or stay stuck between two worlds. People who are in this sacred space of dissolution, or who remember what it felt like, can say in the comments, "I embrace the sacred void as I am reborn." This will make you feel strong. These words should bring you comfort and strength. By seeing what seems like a breakdown as the biggest step forward, you are honoring the courage it takes to fall apart in the cocoon before you can fly away with wings. In the past, alchemists called this stage the negrado, which means the blackening. This is where everything must break down before it can be born again as gold. These days, scientists study the neural gap, which is the time between when old brain pathways die and when new ones start to form. Quantum physicists call it the collapse point, which is the point at which one reality ends and a new one starts. You should know that this moment doesn't only happen once. You keep having it happen, and each time it affects you more deeply. Every time, it needs a little more faith, trust, and openness to the unknown You can either make it through this shift or do it with grace, depending on a principle or a secret key. There is a key to this hidden in the heart of all mystical teachings and in the most elaborate quantum theories. It's the difference between having a hard time for years and being born again in a moment of grace. What does this key do? I'm going to tell you about it. But before you can let go, you need to know what your body, brain, and energy field do when you do. It's so beautiful how it works that you'll never be afraid to let go again. Your whole being goes through a coherent reorganization when you truly give up the old self and stop trying to control, manage, and fix the limited version of who you thought you were. Your body's systems start to work together in a beautiful way. First, your body's stress response calms down. The constant hum of fight or flight that comes from trying to keep an unstable ego in check starts to fade. Your cortisol level goes down. Your heart rate variability gets better, which is a good sign for your health. Your immune system gets stronger. You start to feel very calm, and it has nothing to do with what's going on around you. Your mind also changes. Your mind becomes clear, creative, and deeply intuitive when you stop using huge amounts of mental energy to hold on to old wounds and a false identity. It's now easy to solve problems that seemed impossible before. It's easy for you to get creative ideas. When you let your inner truth guide you instead of your fears, it's easy to make choices. In his groundbreaking work on epigenetics, Dr. Bruce Lipton shows that when we change how we think about ourselves, our genes change how they are expressed. The genes linked to stress and illness are turned off, while the genes linked to health and vitality are turned on. You're not just changing your mind, your body is also getting better. But what spiritual groups call self-realization is the most beautiful gift. It is the direct, living experience of who you really are. Beyond all of your stories, conditioning, and limits, it's not just an idea. You can feel it in your bones. You start to look at the world with beginner's mind, which means you are open and amazed by it all. No more reacting to life based on hurts from the past or worries about the future. You start to respond to every moment with love, presence, and honesty. When you stop trying to get love, approval, or safety from other people, your relationships heal. You connect from a full place, not an empty one. Give from a place of plenty, not a place of lack. Now that you've let go of the limiting beliefs that were stopping you, chances, money, and resources come to you easily. The most important thing is that you build what I call quantum trust. With this faith, you can't doubt that the universe is smart and loving. At your deepest level, you know that everything is working out for the best. You know that letting go doesn't mean losing. It means getting everything that's important. In the comments, say, "I have quantum trust in the universe." If you're ready to live from this place of unwavering faith, do it now. Let this be your base. You are consciously changing your energy from fear to trust, from lack to abundance, and from being alone to having a deep, knowing connection with the intelligence of life itself as you type these words. Please wait one more time. Take a deep breath. What if everything you've learned about how to change is wrong? Maybe the way to become your best self isn't to do more, but to let go of everything that isn't you. What if all the trouble and resistance you felt was just because you were trying to change while holding on tight to the identity that you need to let go of? Now think about your life. How much of your valuable energy do you spend trying to fix, manage, and control the outside world while keeping the inside world the same? What would happen if you stopped for a second? Could you just let go? Not because of your duties or your love for other people, but because it's hard to be the person you think you should be. Perhaps the person you are working so hard to become is just a smaller version of the wonderful person you are at your core. Think about what if there is a part of you that is already whole, perfect, and connected to infinite love and wisdom? Why do you think that? It's not just a nice thought. All mystics have told you this truth. This is what quantum physics tells us about the real world. The caterpillar doesn't read self-help books or go to caterpillar therapy to get better. It gives up everything and lets the process of change happen. It gives up everything and turns into a nutrient-rich soup. From that surrender, something new and beautiful comes forth. Something that was always possible for it, but would never happen as long as it stayed a caterpillar. What if your deep desire for more and being unhappy are not signs that you are broken? What if they mean your soul is ready to fly and no longer wants to crawl? If you feel like your wings are starting to move, tell the world in the comments, "My soul is ready to fly." That's you saying yes to your own growth. It's a promise to reach your full potential through vibrations. It tells every cell in your body that the time for playing small is over and the time for soaring has begun. What if the start of your own quantum shift is right now? You just need to decide if you trust the process. Are you ready to let go of what you think you are and find out what you have always been? What I have told you so far is just the beginning. Before a journey that goes much deeper than most people can imagine, this is what you do. There are levels of this quantum shift that go beyond healing yourself and include making the universe together with it. Let go of things, and new levels of consciousness will open up. These levels will connect you to abilities and experiences that most people would call miraculous. In the past, people called these natural, intuitive abilities siddhis. They happen when your consciousness is freed from the illusion of a separate self. These are the new things that physicists are learning about how consciousness can change reality at the quantum level. Subscribe and turn on notifications to make sure you receive these deeper energetic upgrades. This is like giving the universe permission to send these future messages directly to your awareness. It will help you integrate the next levels of your quantum awakening. In the next few videos, I'll show you how to get around in this new area. When you are fully living as your true self from a place of unity consciousness, the quantum shift is complete. I will show you what happens. You will learn that your awareness doesn't just look at reality, it also makes it. You will learn quantum field techniques that let you bring things into your life from the point of view of being, not doing. It will become clear to you why synchronicities happen every day, how your intuition works, and how your presence can make everyone around you feel better. However, please understand that these are not unique powers that only a few people have. These things are naturally yours if you have done the holy work of letting go of your false self and accepting your true self. How far are you ready to go? How far down are you ready to go? How ready are you to let go of everything you think you know in order to find out what is really possible? This is the last time we will meet today. I want to leave you with a truth that the quantum field has been telling you the whole time. This person is not the same person who started watching this video. There's a difference. Something has woken up. At the quantum level, something has been set off inside of you. Your quantum field knows about the change, even if it seems very small. Your spirit knows. Everything knows. And now I'll leave you with this lovely mystery. The fact that you found this video, watched it all the way through, and are now hearing these words is not a coincidence. It's been your soul's plan for you to reach this sacred point where you can choose between the old you and the true you. Now you have to ask yourself, what if this quantum shift isn't going to happen to me? So what if it's already taking place through you? What if all of your restlessness, hope, and realizations of the truth have been getting you ready for a change that is already happening? What if you let go instead of letting yourself be? What if you were not really the old you? If the person you thought you were was only a dream and you are really the dreamer slowly waking up, what would that mean? Giving it more thought won't help you find the answers. They are in the space of silence that appears when you choose not to know. They are found in the love that comes before all experience and in the peace that can't be explained. This is where the real trip starts. If you've been here until now, you know that something that can't be changed has begun. Like planting a seed in the rich soil of your consciousness. The activation that took place is like that. How it grows will depend on what you do next. There is a call from your highest timeline for you. You are ready to become your most beautiful self. That's why I made a set of videos that will gently walk you through each step of this journey. The next video in this series will show you the specific, heart-centered practices that will help you handle this change without stress. You'll find out how to turn letting go from a scary jump into a happy dance with the universe. You will now see videos on your screen that talk about different parts of your journey. Pick the one that makes your heart beat faster. Believe what you feel. It's your own quantum field that leads you to the next right thing to do. Keep this in mind as you continue your journey to find your true nature. You are not only changing yourself. Today, people all over the world are waking up. You are a beautiful and important part of how consciousness is growing on Earth. Send this message to other people who are ready to hear it. Every share adds to our group energy, making the grid of light around the world stronger and speeding up everyone's awakening. Sharing is a service you give to everyone. You've arrived at the image of your best self. You've arrived at the start of the most beautiful journey of your life. You're only one soft click away from the next level of getting awake. Take one last second to click the like button before continuing. As you do this, it acts as a seal, an energetic confirmation that locks in the activation you've felt here today. This way, the message's resonance will continue to unfold within you.